not marry her. That's my personal opinion.
You want to become
God! Oh, Candace is cooking! Candace is cooking! There's been 10 giant men just back to back, sweating all over, and I'm the 12th. Oh, you must be insecure because you don't want to pay the fee to go in beside me. Sorry, I am a fan. I am a fan of Candace Owens.
And then Candace quote X'd it, quote tweeted, I don't know anymore. Okay, quote X'd it. This is what was future. Wait, this is what was. Okay, yeah. This is what a future depression. Future depression, Xanax, and wine combo nights alone looks like. But hey, the shashuka.
It's gonna be amazing.
So let's play the video. Nick, if you can go full screen on it, and then we'll get the panel's reaction.
Xanax wine nights.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw a picture of shakshuka, and I thought, it sounds really good. Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries, so I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
I thought it was going to be really her going, shot.
So, why do you guys think that this video went kind of crazy viral, and what's the analysis here?
I mean, it went crazy viral because Matt Walsh tweeted it. Let's be real. That would have just gone into the ethosphere on TikTok and no one would have talked about it had he not picked that up and tweeted it.
Well, was Matt, I don't know if Matt Walsh was the first person.
He was.
Oh, was he really? Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
But I guess what's interesting to me is that this woman has actually even said, she gives herself a hard time. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So I don't think that it's right to demonize her and act like she's going to have a depressing life when she just hasn't found the right person, because clearly she wants those things and she's trying to make herself feel better and other people in that community feel better about not being that far along. Because like you said, you wanted people to settle down with the right person, take their time, figure out if that's the right person. So just because she's 29, you're saying that it's too late for her and she's going to be doing Xanax and drinking wine at night because she hasn't reached that point yet?
I didn't say that. That's not what my tweet said.
You said the future.
Yeah,
right.
Because she's obviously a narcissist, right? So why would you think first and foremost, let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is to be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason, if you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shashuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. There's absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. Right. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children is the problem. She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessary in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done all day, and there's no reason to bring up, having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has a brand where she talks about childlessness, and she talks about leaning into selfishness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. She's telling you she's a narcissist. Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you. You don't have to. You can get up in the morning, you can go help others, you can do other things. You can say, now that I have free time as a single woman, I can go dedicate time to the church. I can sing. I can do this. I can help people find God. That particular woman that you just looked at is a selfish bitch, and men should not marry her. That's my personal opinion.
You want to become
Candace is cooking. Candace is cooking. God damn. You know what's so crazy is that with the context and understanding that she has a whole brand dedicated towards that, low key, the first thing my mind jumped to, what a smart person. That young lady is brilliant because she's taking advantage of all of the soon-to-be cat shepherds coming into the future. Absolutely, full stop. The audience of single 29, single from 25 to 35, unmarried, is huge. That audience right there of women in that demographic that are single actually might be bigger than those in my demographic, right? So the potential market of who she does content for is absolutely massive. I'll probably guess it's probably 2 or 3 times the size of the market of the content that I do it for. So understanding that content is very important.
I have had no issues doing being a legal prostitute. I've had no issues being a legal prostitute just because I haven't been dating anybody within this time for that year. Mm-hmm. As for everything else, it's hard dating. I've ran into a lot of insecure men. Typically, those are the ones that can't handle me doing what I do for work. And
oh God, here we go.
Well, just a point of clarification. So you run into a lot of insecure men, and are they insecure because they don't want to date you because you are currently active as a prostitute?
Yes, she's about to say yes.
No, I'm saying I've never dated a guy while I was working at the brothels, at the Bunny Ranch or the Mustang Ranch. But I've been dating guys like between me doing camming and dancing. So that's what I'm talking about.
But you mentioned
why are they insecure?
Men. What specifically are they doing that makes them insecure? Is it because they're insecure about your work?
Yes, like
imagine being insecure for rejecting a woman that gets f***ed by 12 men a day. Like what the cope? What the cope is this shit? Oh, I'm insecure. That's your conclusion, baby girl. What? I'll be honest. Is this, I know these girls go on the show in order to promote their businesses, but how does this do for their business? Because I would assume if you're one of the 12 and you're walking into her establishment at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're probably the 12th. You most likely don't know that there was 11 guys before, literally 11 guys. Yo, what the fuck? There's bars in major cities that don't get serviced as much as what you do in a 24-hour day. There'll be less guys pissing in a urinal than injecting their sword into your viscous innards in a 24-hour period. That is absolutely insane. But he's insecure. Oh, wait a minute. I'm the 12th one today. There's been 10 giant men just back to back, sweating all over, and I'm the 12th. Oh, you must be insecure because you don't want to pay the fee to go inside me, even though this is the 12th one today. Purely disgusting, purely sick.
Repeat it. That was a lot, so let me know if you need me to repeat anything.
I talk about this extensively on my show. I mean, the truth is that if you are going to engage in sex work, you are going to probably make a lot of money, especially if you're young. You're on a very tight rope. As you get older, your value goes down, and men are going to want women that are younger and available to them. I'm talking about in terms of just making the person who will subscribe to your OnlyFans page. You know, obviously, women, you're declining as you age. And the truth is that high value men don't want to date women that are sex workers or even women that aren't sex workers and lean into the whole talking about how sexy and are freely available on the internet for other men to see. What we're talking about is biological proclivity. What men are doing when they first say, this sounds amazing, to date a stripper or to date a prostitute or to date a sex worker, is there's this instinct to have sex. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have sex all the time. But then when they realize that actually a form of wanting to be in a relationship is feeling that there's a mystery to a woman, that there's something that's yours, there's something that's sacred, there's something that's powerful and beautiful that just you share. And when they realize that they have to share that with other men, it completely diminishes the man. A recent cultural example of that, obviously, is what's happening with Nina Agdal. She's not a sex worker by any means. She just kind of said some sexy things on the internet about wanting and look at what...
Was not expecting that from Candace.
I'm quoting her directly, so this is purely academic. Purely academic, and look at what happened. You know, now Logan has become the laughing stock of other men as they piece together everything that she's ever said that's overtly sexual. And again, she's not a sex worker, but what happened is her value just completely plummeted because, they're this thing that men need to feel. And I don't want to say possession in a way that sounds bad, because it's not bad. It's actually really beautiful. And I'm lucky and fortunate that I get to experience that in my marriage, and it's something that women should strive toward. Women that make those exchanges in their youth, I think that's sad, and I do feel bad for Nina Agdal, is because she said a lot of those statements when she was really young. She's probably your age. And she had a camera and she said it, and it lives forever. And now every man that she dates is going to say Dylan Danis has made her available to everyone. And
so Candace's point is goddamn true. And she's absolutely correct. But think about this. Do you guys think that Logan Paul really didn't know about all of these things that she had on the internet? So it's a perfect example of actually what I'm saying as well, is that although she had all of this content available, and although Logan knew about all of the content, I mean, shit, he lives on the goddamn internet. He still decided to wife her up. And that's what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, a lot of these hoes, as long as they look good, they make out at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm just curious about your opinion on this, because I've seen like a couple of people in like Red Pill spaces, like Pates or people similar to that, talking about how they should marry a young woman. Would you agree or disagree that that might not be the most like rational course of action?
To marry a young woman? What do you mean by that?
That I hear a lot of men talk about how a woman inherently loses value as she gets older, and that's why that they should seek out young women.
Well, I live in the South, and a lot of people get married young, and I think it's really beautiful and wonderful. They preserve this sort of innocence. I have people that work for me that want to get married at 22. They drop out of school. So I don't think there's anything wrong with marrying when you're young. I'd have to see the full context of what they're talking about, because I do think, obviously, the longer you wait, and especially in this society that's creating this simulation that sexuality equates to freedom when it doesn't, that what he might be suggesting is that the longer a woman runs free, the more partners that she's gathering, and her worth is being diminished. And I think that there is some veracity to that. But, you know, if it's said in a way that sounds a little crass, like seek out younger women because they're not as used, and I can see why people would be offended by it, but that might be underpinned by a little bit of logic. So I'd have to see the clip in its entirety.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because in general, I think men do have a biological proclivity. I can't pronounce that word. Proclivity. You know, to seek out like youth and beauty. But I also think when it comes to like settle down, you want a mother who's going to be responsible and good towards her children. So I think the idea that like men seek out beauty is true, but I also think men seek out a level of like responsibility and maturity that only comes with age. So I was just curious because of the other stuff I've heard from people.
And also it's like this is just like it's just sex. And
just
when you have a partner, you have an emotional connection with them. And so like the guy on your last podcast, he was on here a few days ago, he was saying how like for men sex is just, but like spending time with a woman and like buying her things and like going on trips with her is like different than having sex with
she's f***ed up.
And that's why they were like in an open relationship or whatever.
What she doesn't understand how she's in the right industry. She's gonna be a forever hoe. Yes, sex is sex just for men, but you got to understand is that men are looking at a woman's past because it's an ego shot if we find out that you've been with the homies and all of the homies' friends. Okay, but it's not just sex for sex. It's not as easy as that, right? Like you are slow, madame, and I hate to say it like that, but your ability to understand kind of the difference between men and women, how we consider things, or the difference between when a man considers you just for as what they consider you for, and a man considers you for a long-term relationship. Those are very different things. You can't paint both of those things with a broad brush, because any man knows is that there's certain women for fun, and then there's certain women for actually taking serious.
So you're not saving marriages, you're helping people to keep up a farce that they are in a marriage. Because at the very moment that you let someone else into your marriage, it's no longer a marriage.
No.
Yeah.
And these women, women turned around and said, I will allow you to see a professional.
So they are not in a marriage. That's the point.
They're married. As soon as you lend
some of
their wives are like dying from cancer and this, that, and the other. And
if I'm dying from cancer and my husband
sleeps with somebody else,
I swear to God.
Their wives are the ones that come.
Hold on, just one at a time, please. Candace, were you?
I just would like to make the point that at the very moment that you loan your spouse out, especially if you're dying of cancer, so that they can get off, you're no longer in a marriage. So it's just a farce. It's like it's a comical. You're pretending for people that you're in a marriage, that you're in a loving relationship. That's not what a marriage is. So to say that I help marriages, no, you help destroy marriages, and they can go out and say that we're still married because what we've done is we've essentially said you take care of this aspect of the marriage. It's like saying you raise the kids, you have sex with him. This isn't a marriage. It's the whole thing is fake, right?
What do you think that they should do? What do you think that
they should work on their marriage together? The union between a husband and a wife should work on their marriage together to fix it. You don't bring out an outside person to sleep with your husband or your wife.
But if she's saying, I'm not down for sex,
then she might be down for a divorce.
I want to outsource this.
She's going to die from cancer, and she wanted him, and she allowed him to do that because he needed to get off some way or shape.
While she was dying of cancer, one of the last things on her mind was,
this is a real life. This is a real life. Yeah, this was a real. I'm asking you.
And is that what he told you?
So
and his wife that's dying of cancer wanted him to come have sex with you.
Not with me. This is. From what I've heard, yes.
Somebody told you that there's that as a dying wish. My dying
so
wife
how would
said,
you want
go
that?
have sex with the prostitute.
I saw it on TikTok.
I'm just going to call bullshit on that altogether.
No,
I just don't
because
think
it does happen.
Dying of cancer,
it happens.
Going through leukemia.
People will literally bring their guys here.
Please bring them on the podcast.
I just want to say that
absurd scenario I've ever heard in my life.
There's
a lot of crazy shit.
There's marriage counseling where they can take you through sex therapy where you don't have to sleep with somebody else. If it's about a woman not wanting to have sex anymore, what's the underlying reason? Are her hormones messed up so she's not wanting to be sexually active? Is there not enough foreplay when they're having sex? Like, there's other avenues you can take for sex therapy.
Normal couples counselors. Yes. Real couples counseling. Where you try to solve the problem and you release it and you don't just source it out to a prostitute.
Go ahead.
The cancer thing is crazy. The cancer thing is crazy. But outside of that, I don't think that it's up to any of us what constitutes a marriage because every relationship is different.
Well, the Bible.
If a husband, okay, but
words have meaning.
Not everyone is religious.
Well, wait, hold on. Is that a cross necklace?
It doesn't constitute, like, what do you,
okay, really quick.
Not everybody's
religious.
religious.
Since we're talking about religion really quick. Okay, you have a cross necklace, but then your shirt says made in hell.
Yes, it does.
I'm a little confused.
Ironic.
Can you...
I'm
a little confused.
The stone is red, so it matched,
Why are you wearing a cross on your neck?
Color coordinating with your necklace?
Because I don't see a cross as religious, so...
Okay. Just like you don't see a marriage as religious.
I don't think that a marriage...
have meaning. This is why it's like we're at a stage where people are like, what is a woman? Because they just go, well, we're going to call it a marriage, but we're going to sleep with other people. We're going to bring in prostitutes. We're going to outsource raising the kids, or we're never going to have kids. You're calling it a family. It's not a family, and this is what it is. The words have no meaning, right? I'm wearing the cross. Why? I don't know. I don't think of it as religious. Okay, well, Jesus Christ died on the cross.
You think that.
That's what you think.
Wait.
That's what you think. So why are you wearing the cross?
Because I think
I'm so sorry. I don't know why so many people hate Candace Owens. I mean, I think I understand why because some of her things that she said regarding race. But as far as regarding relationship dynamics, gender dynamics, male versus female, what is a woman, all of this shit like that, I really like Candace Owens. Sorry. Sorry. I am a fan. I am a fan of Candace Owens. I think that she's incredibly smart, the way that she can break this shit down. Keep going, Candace. Don't stop ever.